Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hello, my name is Jade and I make coasters and zoos, but this is a very special video. This sadly will in fact be the last episode of Planet Coaster that'll be on this channel because Planet Coaster 2 is just around the corner. It's been announced. We've got a release date. I'm sure you've heard about it because it's making the rounds. It's very popular at the minute, so it's very exciting. So I wanted to do one last video, one little mini series before it comes out next month, which is just around the corner, I might add. Like, I am cutting it close because this is a mission and a half because, well, it's a big project. For such a small series, it's just going to be a couple episodes. It's a very big project. Now, you might be wondering, Jade, what are you doing? What is going on here? What is this monstrosity of a pathway that you are creating? Well, audience members, this is going to be, in fact, a dual torque coaster race. Now, if you don't know what that means, neither do I, so let's have a quick little Google. It means there's going to be two coasters side by side, as you can clearly see right here, that will start and finish at the exact same time, but they will have different paths, which is very exciting. I haven't seen it, well, I have seen it done, but I haven't really seen it done too much, especially with this coaster. This is the Torque Launch Coaster. I've only just come across this coaster actually, which is insane because this game came out in like 2017 and I've got like 600 hours on it and I've never done this coaster before, which is insane. So it's got some very, very cool features. One, it can do forward launches. Two, it can do reverse launches. Three, it can do an insane loop. We will get to that. That's what we will be building right now. As you can, what perfect timing that is. The cool thing about this loop is you can do a normal loop, but then also there's a connecting track on top of said loop, which you go up and over, which is very exciting. So that is that. Now the plan for this coaster is to have both coasters, like I said, leave the station at the same time and race. So you can just see there, I've been linking them together so they will start testing at the same time, which is very exciting. I've never done that either, so this is a first for many things in this video, which I'm very excited about, and I hope you are too. So what we were doing is getting two loops to go right next to each other, just like that, and then we had to try and, because it's a launch coaster and there's no drop there, it's just straight flat, I wanted to get it to launch out of the station just a little bit quickly into a corner just there, and then it's the main launch where we get up to around 130 k's an hour, which isn't too fast, but it's fast enough that we don't need anything else for the loop, which is very cool. So yeah, you can just see me playing around with it. This episode is just the coaster layout, and the next episode will be the either terrain or the coaster station and decorating. I'm not too sure, and I'm not too sure how many episodes it will be, as I have just finished the layout and started doing the actual coaster station, so I'm not entirely sure how many episodes it will be. But this episode is purely just coaster building, so if you are into that, stay tuned. If you aren't, well, you're in for a long 15-20 minutes, that's all I gotta say. But I wanted this coaster to go back and forth between being in front and being behind, and I also wanted it to be entangled and intertwined with each other, which I do in fact get it spot on. You could see there I was just playing around a little bit with the reverse boost, but I don't in fact do that this coaster, just because I didn't really have anywhere to put it. You can see me trying to put it here, and then I couldn't really get the timing right because I wanted to obviously get everything to be going at the same time, and one wasn't working properly, and then when it would boost backwards, the other one wouldn't go back further. It was just a hot mess, so I ended up getting rid of that and just going into normal coasters from there, but I definitely wanted it to be very back and forth, very like I said, intertwined with each other, and I think I capture that quite well. We are stuck. The thing is with this is I wanted it to obviously be a race, but I would build for example, this is a monstrosity is what I'm building. This goes away, don't worry, this is retired. But I would build a track and then I would like it, so then I would go and build a similar version of that for the other coaster and get it, you know, going back and forth, but then I would have to smooth it, and then one would be way faster than the other. So I would have to go back and either change the actual layout of the coaster, which was fine, or I would have to just increase the speed of the first boost, which would actually, in fact, change how fast, you know, I know, right? Speed changes how fast a coaster goes. Who would have thought? But yeah, it was very hit and miss. But if you stick with it, like I did for a couple hours, we got to a very, very good coaster. I'm very proud of myself for, I don't want to toot my own horn, but for a coaster that I've never done before or built, or, you know, dueling coaster, I've never done that before, so I'm very happy with how it all turned out. You can see me I need a bit of a break because it wasn't really working out, so I was like, oh, we'll go into the queue station. So again, what is this? What am I doing? Like, how did I think that looked right and good? So I obviously wanted it to be a nice queue as well as queue station. So we had to go with just the standard queue like that, and I was like, I mean, that looks alright, but then obviously one side's longer than the other, but it doesn't really matter because they go at the same time. But I don't really like that U shape above the coaster, so we do in fact get rid of that. And it's not going to be like a whole park either. Like this, like many of my other unfinished projects, is just a one coaster park. So you can see me getting rid of that, so thank God. And I also wanted to try and one, be realistic, and two, try and get all green in stats, which I can't actually remember if I did or not. One of them might be, one of them might not. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been a hot minute since I've actually built the coaster. It's been about a week, so I'm not entirely sure if that is right, but you can see me now trying to play with this over the loop, which is very, very cool. But I had to try and get both coasters to line up to the speed boosts at the same time, and obviously having them entangled with each other is not making it very easy, as you can clearly see. There's a lot of finicky back and forth work, and yeah, it's not looking pretty, but we do get there in the end. I do go back and obviously change a few things, but for the most part, it's coming along quite nicely. I also didn't exactly know how I wanted to end the ride. I knew I definitely wanted some airtime hills because we didn't have too many at the moment, so I definitely wanted some more. So after the loop, you come down into this big airtime bank over corner, and then basically they're just racing each other with a big airtime hill right there, which, you know, gets the heart pumping and also gets the ratings well in the green. And then I had this idea. I wanted, obviously they needed to finish at the same time, so I had to obviously slow them down and incorporate some trim brakes that you could just see me placing there, but I don't like the ending of that, and I sort of wanted them to come side by side as well as you finish. So like you're with your buddies and stuff, and they're on the other rides, and you can come back like side by side and watch each other race. So I obviously wanted that, but then I didn't like the look of this ending at the minute, so obviously we're going to change it, but it is getting there, guys. We are making some moves on this coaster, which is very exciting because it's taking a hot minute then I wanted to obviously, well, I needed to make it look good, so it was going way too fast into these trim brakes. I think it was going like 80 Ks or something right now. But we added another little airtime hill and then another corner. So also this is, I wanted to try and make a little track that came out that was sort of like a transfer track in the or part of the station building a little bit, but it didn't really work out. We do end up getting rid of it, but you can see me trying here to figure out something, and then I was like, why don't we just do the same thing on either side? That looks crap. Don't know what I was thinking. Had the right idea, but this just wasn't working very well. Like, look how tight that corner is. Like, what am I thinking? Like, they're gonna break the neck, and yeah, it's just not working. So we ended up getting rid of that and having them just go side by side, which I think looks a lot better. But we also change all that. And then I was like, what if I go down this way? Nah, just start again and we'll go from there. We can change both tracks again. So I end up, changing both tracks yet again. But we are getting there. That's, I mean, pretty... One of them is green all the way, or 2 green and 1 orange, and 1 green and 2 orange. So they're both very good roller coasters, but I just had a lot more tweaking to do, just because it's still very, oh, look at that loop, that's so sick. It's still it's not smooth. So yeah, you can see me here just going back and forth. I also wanted them to try and do this second launch together, so this is what you're seeing me do now, just trying to extend the coaster ever so slightly, just so there, because one was pretty much right in front of the other when they hit the boost. So what I wanted was to extend that other track so it's caught up a little bit of time, and so then they could do the launch together, which is what you want. And yeah, so we get there in the end. I love, like, look how sick that corner is, like that banked turn, both of them, and especially with like terrain. I haven't done any terrain yet, don't know what the terrain's going to look like, or what the actual, well, I don't even know what the terrain is going to look like, or the theming of the ride yet, but we'll get there. So if you do actually have any suggestions about the theming, let me know. I do end up changing one color to the red, one color to blue, so you can like differentiate between the two coasters, because right now it just looks like one big coaster. So the red and blue sort of separates the two, which I really like. So, and also if you have any name suggestions, please let me know down below. But we are getting to the end of this episode. Don't worry, there will be a POV at the end of this episode, so if that's what you're waiting for, just wait a little bit longer, and your wishes are my command. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the first episode of this coaster build. It's something very different, so I hope you are enjoying it, and I will see you in the next episode. So yeah, see ya.